hear you, yeah.
Let me see. Test. I think I'm like bouncing off, right? The sound. Can you turn my volume down on your computer and see if that helps?
Yeah, it does.
Let's see. Test. Okay. You can still hear me, okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Hey, Abby, thank you so much for agreeing to do the interview with me. I was so surprised when you thought you had to prepare for this.
Oh my god, I was like, because it says interview on the thing, so I was like, okay, do I need to like prepare for certain questions?
No, this is just us having a conversation. I'm just really curious to learn more about students' experiences at GSMSD, especially, given that the school is science-focused school.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to start off our conversation by asking you, how did you hear about GSMSD and why did you decide to come to the school?
Okay, so I think it was my math teacher. It was like towards the end of 8th grade, like, I think it was end of 2nd semester. She was like, oh yeah, by the way, there's this school. And so I was like, it was kind of like, I was taking biology in 8th grade, like 9th grade biology. And I was like, well, I might as well just sign up for this because, I like biology. So I signed up the last day that I could because I was still kind of like, oh, like, I don't really know if I should, like, do that. Like, I don't know if I'll get in. So I was, like, really, like, I don't know, what's the word? Like, just, like, hesitant to sign up. But I think that I'm glad now that I signed up for it and, like, got in and stuff.
Yeah. Can you tell me what aspects of biology you liked?
I don't know. It was just like, I really liked, in 7th grade we take life science, and in 6th grade we take like, I think it was like earth science, and then 8th grade you take like physical science. And in 7th grade, that was my favorite year. Like, my teacher, she was super nice. And we just got to learn a lot, and I found, like, we talked about the human body a lot, and I found that, like, really fascinating. And I just think, I don't know, to me it's more interesting than, like, physics or chemistry or, like, anything else.
Now, your teacher recommended this school to you. Why do you think your teacher recommended GSMSD to you?
It was kind of like, it wasn't directly to me, but, like, I know that I was on more of an accelerated path because I was taking accelerated, I think it was algebra at the time. Yeah, I think I was taking accelerated algebra. So it was kind of like she was recommending it more to the whole class, saying like, oh, well, you're already above like what the normal student would be doing. So if you're just going to go here, that would like still bring you on that like faster pace.
Did your parents know about the school at all?
They probably heard about it, but like before I brought the forms home and everything, we like didn't really know anyone that went there. They hadn't really talked to me about it before. I was planning on going to my home high school before I heard about this, so it wasn't really like, a super big deal until probably a month or two before I signed up to like get in the lottery and stuff.
Did you tell your parents that you wanted to sign up?
It was like, I'm like really close with my mom, so I was talking to her about it, and I was like, well, like, should I sign up? And then, like, I was talking to my friends about it too, and like, they thought it would be really good for me, but it was still kind of like you can only sign up to do it if you want to do it. Like, we're not going to force you to do it, because if we force you to do it, you're not going to do well. So, and they kind of like pushed me a little bit, and they were like, well, this will probably be better than our home high school, because like we know that you're accelerated and like that you're like a little bit smarter than the average person, so we think you should go here.
What is your home high school?
Mill Creek.
Mill Creek. And Mill Creek is not a bad school at all.
Yeah, I know, it's not that bad, but like they were just wanting to push me to go even like further and like a little bit out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. Why do you think being at a science-focused and almost above standards school is important? Why is that important? Like, why is it so important to be at GSMSD?
I think it's really important just like, because I know that a lot of the STEM fields are coming out, and also like just because it's a science-focused school doesn't mean it's primarily science. Like, I know a lot of the other programs at our school are very like, they're very intensive. Like, no matter what you do, like they still try and make it like, even if you're like good at science, they try and make it at the school to where you're good at everything else too. So if you're like struggling in a subject, it like pushes you to do better. But like overall, I think it would be helpful to go at like GSMST because it's a science school and that's going to be prominent in the future years. And they also try to get kids, like, even if they're not like the most excited about science, they try to get them excited about science.
So what do you mean by science is going to be prominent in the future years?
So I mean, like, it's been a growing like topic. Like now, like you don't really hear so much of like, I don't really know. It's kind of like, to me, it's been like less of like, oh, I'm gonna become a professional athlete, and it's more like, oh, I'm going to become a scientist, and like, oh, I'm gonna become a chemist, because like, to me, it's kind of like, sometimes, even if you're not focused in that subject, you kind of want a job in that subject, and even if you, like, if you start to, like, go, oh, I kind of want a job there, then it's kind of like, you start to get interested, like, whether you think about it or not, you're just kind of like, oh, this is actually, like, starting to get a little bit fun, and, like, I actually find this interesting, so, like, it's just growing a lot, I guess.
Yeah. Tell me about your experience in AP Bio.
I really like it. I think the best part about like AP Bio, the part that I like the most is like when we do like activities like the ones that we were doing in class earlier, like with the replication and transcription and translation. I really like those like hands-on things, and I feel like it gets like, rather than like other high schools where they'll just do like reading and then like they'll teach it in class the next day. Like, I feel like that really, like, gets a hold of your attention into where you're, like, you're invested in the learning rather than just, like, sitting around and just being, like, super passive about learning.
Yeah. Tell me, let's say today, I know Ms. Berry's class, everyone is pretty engaged and everyone is equally, like, actively vocal. Let's look at some of the stuff that you guys do in the lab, like when you do your experiments. Like, I know you guys choose your own groups. So how do you choose your groups?
To me, I used to be like, last year it was like I chose more of my friends, but this year it's just kind of more like I like to be in the groups where, like, it's not like two people are best friends and then like you're sitting there like kind of third wheeling in a sense. So like I'll just kind of join a group where it's like, because we do these little forums, and like I'll choose a group with only one person in it, or like I'll choose a group with no people in it. So it's more like people kind of join that group on their own terms, and it's kind of more like a collection of people that really aren't like best friends or like enemies. It's just like, hey, we're friends, we're in the same class like together, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, it's like harder to do labs with like your best friends because you get distracted and stuff. So
yeah. So you try to at least group yourself with someone that you just know, but you're not like close friends with.
Yeah, because like last year I would get like kind of distracted during labs, and I mean, like, I find it fine to have like a friend in a group or whatever, but it's just like I don't want to be super distracted while I'm trying to do something that might be important. Like, well, it is important, but
Yeah. Now, how is that different when you're doing, for instance, the activity you guys were doing today? You are working with people at your desk, and now that's different because you have to work with the person next to you, right? Can you like choose to go work with someone across the room?
I mean, there are some classes that like you can choose to go across the room. Like, I know that some classes they'll be like choose your own partner, and that's usually like when you get like kind of distracted. But like I feel like in this class, like especially working with someone that you like don't really have any like I don't have any classes with the guy that I sit next to. So it's kind of like